We also educate our clients about the 80-20 rule. So 80% of what they do to get healthy skin is going to be at home.
Mm.
20% is going to be in the treatment room. So the analogy we use is if you go to the gym, but then go home and you're eating, cupcakes and Doritos, you're probably not going to get the best result. So we make sure that our clients have a phenomenal at-home regimen to keep the results that they're getting in the treatment room going at home.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Yeah, Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top medical practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Deanna Doyle, a seasoned aesthetic industry leader with over 20 years of experience driving growth for top medical aesthetic brands across the country. After building and scaling multiple high-performing sales territories, she launched Boulder Skin Bar, a modern, results-driven medical spa in northern Boulder. Under her leadership, the practice quickly earned a reputation for clinical excellence, advanced technology, and exceptional patient outcomes. Deanna is known for her strategic vision, deep understanding of aesthetic medicine, and ability to turn innovative treatments into profitable, patient-centered services. She brings a rare combination of medical credibility, sales expertise, and entrepreneurial success to everything she builds. So, Deanna, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here, Daniel.
Yeah, so let's start off with this. How did you first get interested in the medical field?
Okay, so good question. My brother actually got me into this industry ages ago. I was living in Southern California, and my brother had been in aesthetic laser sales on the East Coast, and he started his own company based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and he needed part of his organization. So my brother flew out to San Diego, where I was living, and he taught me everything he knew about this industry. Everything from skincare lines, cosmeceutical grade ingredients that get results, but primarily lasers and capital equipment. And so under his leadership, we actually had a great time, and I driving all over California and meeting with plastic surgeons and dermatologists and med spas. And I just immediately was really drawn into this business.
Okay. So you already got started within the aesthetics industry. You didn't start from another type of medical field and then get into aesthetics. You dove right into aesthetics.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly how it was. So, my brother was known as the laser guy,
Huh.
and so I really learned from the best. And I saw the connection that he would immediately earn with doctors and clinic owners and that sort of thing. And I just really liked the relationships he was building, and he was just bringing a lot of value to these aesthetic practices. And I thought that's really something that I could enjoy doing as well.
Okay. So I want to talk about what led you to start your own practice. It sounds like from your background, you've grown some very successful territories. You were very
Mhm.
successful in what you did. So why start your own practice?
That is a great question, and it's actually something that I love talking about. So I decided after 30 years in San Diego to move to Boulder, Colorado. This is where my family has been for a while. And when I got here in August of 2024, the climate just uh, it is very dry here. And with the altitude, and in August, it was extremely hot. And I started meeting so many wonderful people in the community, and I realized that they had no idea how to take care of their skin.
Mm.
So they were great about taking care of their bodies. This is a very outdoorsy, athletic community. But when it came to skin health, I was just meeting a lot of people who had premature aging from sun damage. They were putting cooking ingredients on their skin,
Oh,
thinking it was moisturizer. So I started thinking, well, actually, when I was talking to my colleagues, in the industry, you start your own aesthetic practice. And I thought, well, that's an interesting idea. And they said, because you really lead with education and you love showing people the whys behind certain things, whether it's products or treatments. And so I kind of started putting the wheels in motion, and then a fabulous location just kind of landed in my lap. And then 2 months later, we opened our doors at Boulder Skin Bar.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was a very quick process, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do because I guess somewhere in the back of my mind, I had been sort of cultivating this over the years. Well, gee, if that were my med spa, I'd want to do it this way. And if that were my practice, I'd want to sell these products and that sort of thing. So it was really kind of a natural progression.
Okay. So now that you have this practice, I want to talk about some of the treatments that you provide. I'll
Mhm.
start with the facial balancing because I think some
Yes.
people know what it is, but other people are like, I don't know what that is. I've heard of Botox, I've heard of filler. I don't know what the heck facial balancing is. So could you
Mhm.
explain what is facial balancing and why it's so important?
Yes. Okay. Well, let me start off by saying that our nurse at Boulder Skin Bar, her name is Brittany. She is not only an aesthetics nurse injector, she's also an artist, a true artist. She went to art school, and that combination is not only rare, but it has proven to be so beneficial. So what I mean by that artistry when it comes to discussing facial balancing is basically facial balancing is the use of your natural proportions, and it's not about puffing up lips or puffing up cheeks. It's really just about redefining jaw lines or maybe adding a little bit of balance, in the lower half of your face. It's about creating perfect proportions without looking overdone. So at Boulder Skin Bar, our goal is we strive for natural looking results.
Mhm.
So our clients leave after facial balancing. They look rested. They looked refreshed. I mean, they literally look like they've just come back from like a 3-year vacation and they're thrilled. So, and the results are actually very subtle.
Mhm.
So, we kind of joke, nobody's walking out of here with duck lips, they're just going to walk out with a beautiful enhancement. And as long as they're happy, we are happy. So facial balancing is really all just about creating harmony among your features.
Okay. So just so I want to make sure that I understand the facial balancing part of it. Basically, if someone comes in and says, "Hey, I just want more volume to my cheeks,
Mhm.
just give me filler in the cheeks." But if making the cheeks bigger makes them look kind of odd, then it's not a matter of you just put less filler and you basically have to balance the other parts of the face. Is that kind of what
Ex-
you're going after?
Yes, exactly. So sometimes it'll require, using some fillers to sort of, lift that they have a more sculpted and structured jawline
Mhm.
to balance out the enhancement we've done in the cheeks. Sometimes it might be adding a little bit in the chin. And again, it's all about creating that natural looking balance.
Okay, got it. Now,
Mhm,
I'll move over to combination treatments.
mhm.
This kind of ties into the facial balancing side as well. But when it comes to combination treatments, talk a little bit about that. Like, why is it so important to do combination treatments? Why can't someone just come in and just get Botox or just get filler? Why should they do combinations?
Great question again. Well, one of the things that we love to do is to combine various treatments because we know that the end result is going to be that much better. So, for example, we always love to start somebody on a treatment plan where the first thing they do is maybe get a hydrofacial. So the way we explain this to our clients is, if you were an artist, you wouldn't want to paint on a dirty canvas. So we would like to start you off by really giving you a great cleansing and nourishing treatment. So what the hydrofacial does is it cleans out the pores and it simultaneously infuses the skin with beneficial serums that contain hyaluronic acid or that sort of thing. So now we've got the skin in a healthier state. So then when we go ahead and do the second part of the treatment plan, whether it's laser or microneedling or even tox and filler, they're going to get a better result because the skin is in better shape to receive the
Mm.
treatment, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Okay, so you basically need to layer in, hey, this is the first priority to do first, and then this is the second priority, and this is the third priority. Is that kind of how you typically approach it?
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Exactly.
And so you started off with skin, the skincare being the most important part to start off with. How important is it for people to do their skincare outside of the treatment itself?
Probably the most important thing. And we also educate our clients about the 80-20 rule. So 80% of what they do to get healthy skin is going to be at home. 20% is going to be in the treatment room. So the analogy we use is if you go to the gym, but then go home and you're eating, cupcakes and Doritos, you're probably not going to get the best result. So we make sure that our clients have a phenomenal at-home regimen to keep the results that they're getting in the treatment room going at home. And I would say all of our clients are on board with this because they see the results and then they come in for their next treatment and they wonder how they ever got along with, something other than the products that we recommended for them.
Okay. So
Mhm.
where do people start with skincare? Because you kind of mentioned before that some people tried using cooking oil to
Yeah.
put on their skin. So for people who are putting cooking oil on their skin to try and moisturize it, what would you recommend that they start with skincare? Because I mean, there's so many products out there, there's so many
Mhm.
things. Do I just need one? Do I need five? Do I need 10? Like, where does someone who has no idea about skincare, where do they start?
It starts with a consultation.
Mhm.
So, for example, again, if you wanted to get your body into shape, but you had no idea where to start, you might go to the gym and meet with a personal trainer, right? So, our estheticians at Boulder Skin Bar, they're really like skin coaches. So, a lot of people do come in and they say, I bought this product from Target and I broke out and it's just not right for me. So, we do a complete assessment. We go back in their medical history. We find out where they've been, what their skin has been doing for them over the years, where they're at now, and where they need to be. And then we'll really kind of show them a roadmap. This is the treatment plan we recommend, and these are the products we recommend.
Mm.
Some people will need a product that is more for anti-aging. So, that sort of thing. And then we have some people who are prone to breakouts, whether it's hormonal type of acne, um, and really everything in between. So it's really not a one size fits all. So that's where a customized plan comes into place. And again, we lead with a lot of education because the more people know, then the more confident they are that they're going to get the solution they're looking for.
Okay. So within that customized plan for every single person, is there some consistency that, hey, you need this no matter who you are? Like my most immediate thought would be like sunscreen. I've
Yes.
heard just so many things about, hey, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. But I don't know, is that really across the board you need to have that in there? And if so, are there other ones that should just be across the board? You need to have this no matter what?
Sunscreen is across the board. And I'm so glad you brought that up because it's probably the most important thing you can do for your skin is to wear a good quality SPF every single day. So at Boulder Skin Bar, we use color science. I've been a color science fan for 25 years, and color science is a mineral-based SPF. And it's like 50 SPF. And again, depending on the climate you're in, it's absolutely critical. So here in Boulder, we live at altitude, right? And we have about 300 sunny days a year here, in Colorado. The sun is very strong, and then it's an extremely dry climate. The people here in Boulder, for the most part, they're hikers, they're cyclists, they're runners, they're skiers, snowboarders, all of it. So they spend a lot of time outdoors, and if they don't have that SPF protection and reapply throughout the day, then they're going to find themselves with issues, most likely premature aging, if not worse. And so we highly, highly recommend SPF on the daily, even if it's overcast outside. And again, when we introduce this to our clients and they start incorporating it into their daily routine, they come back in and first thing they say is, we don't know how we've lived without this for so long.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Now, what would you say to the person that is the office worker that says, "Hey, I get up in the morning, I'm driving to work, the sun's barely out, I'm in the office all day. By the time I drive home, the sun is down. I'm already low on vitamin D because I don't get much sunlight. I don't need sunscreen." What would you say to that type of person? Or they're not getting
well,
direct sunlight, even if they're driving out, they're not
oh,
getting.
they're not getting,
But what would you say
yeah.
to that person? Like, should they still do sunscreen or do they not really need it?
Well, interesting thing about that, because the ingredients in our SPF products also block the blue lights that come out of computers, cell phones, all of it. We're in front of a computer all day. And the blue UVB, I believe, lights that are still hitting your skin can be, can contribute to premature aging as well, which a lot of people don't realize. So when you're using a natural zinc-based SPF, you're also blocking or protecting your skin, I should say, from, harmful lights that come out of our devices, pollutants in the air, all sort of things. So it's just, best be safer than sorry.
Oh wow. I didn't realize that you can get skin damage from just the lights from computers and screens and all that kind of stuff too. Wow.
Yep,
Okay.
I
So
know. See, you learn something new every day,
I
right?
know. Well, I learned something new. So and within that vein, I want to kind of go within that vein as far as like common misconceptions you hear about these types of treatments or just things that just misconceptions, like because that's one of the biggest misconceptions that for me that I've thought about, and I'm sure lots of other people think about, is that, hey, I'm getting up early, yeah, the sun's out, but I'm not getting direct sunlight. By the time I go home, it's dark. I'm in the office all day, I don't need sunscreen, like I'm not getting any sunlight, like.
Mhm.
But as you mentioned, just the light from the screens can actually cause skin damage. So what are some of these other maybe misconceptions or myths or just things that people just don't realize about skincare or about these treatments?
Okay, so a few misconceptions. Number one, that to get results, the treatments have to be painful. They
Mm,
have to be expensive. Those are not true. They are not true at all. Another misconception is that you're going to get a one and done result. So, for example, you go in for one treatment and you're good. Doesn't work that way as well. So, again, back to the analogy of going to the gym, if you want to get into shape, you can't think that you're just going to go work out one time and, be in shape. It doesn't work that way. It's consistency.
mm,
So I would say probably the biggest misconception, and that we really have to educate through, is consistency. It pays off.
got it. Okay,
Mhm.
good to know. Now,
Yeah.
let's say that someone is looking to get some type of aesthetic treatment done, but they don't know which provider to go to. Um, if they're doing their search, what piece of advice would you give to them so that they are able to find that provider that knows what they're doing, has experience, and can get them a great result?
Few ways. Okay. So first of all, referrals, obviously, so if you have a friend and their skin is looking amazing and you may want to say, hey, do you recommend? Okay, so that's just kind of the basic right off the bat. But if you're looking at working with a med spa or a derm clinic or whatever, read their reviews. Go on and read the reviews and see if anything resonates with you. So for example, if a review says the environment was warm and cozy and not clinical, and I felt very comfortable. If that resonates with you, then you may have found a good place to go. But the most important thing is, schedule a consultation and go ahead and meet with the provider. If you feel connected to them, like if you feel like, hey, this is somebody that I would feel really good about working with, then by all means, you've found your person.
Okay.
And it might take visiting a couple of different places.
Okay. And on
Mhm.
the flip side of that, are there any red flags people should be aware of when they're doing their search?
Oh boy, I know. I mean, I really hate to say this, but if you see a business that is discounting, 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 or forever on Groupon, or, giving away these, crazy deals, there might be a reason. So that might be a red flag. The other thing is, you want to do some research outside of meeting with the practitioner. So, for example, if they're offering XYZ laser, then go online and do some research about that laser. So, for example, there's a great website, realself.com. And if you go on Real Self, it's basically like Yelp for aesthetic treatments. So, for example, if you're looking for RF microneedling, let's say Morpheus 8, you can go on Real Self and see real life before and after photos. And these are from people from all over, so not just from your area. So, do a little research, because certain treatments are not good for everybody. Certain treatments might be better for some people. So you just want to make sure you have all the information that you need to make the best informed decision for yourself.
Okay. And
Mhm.
when it comes to how you approach your client care, how important do you think it is to have an artistic eye in what you do?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that last part?
Yeah,
Yeah,
how important do you think it is to have an artistic eye in what you do?
extremely important. Absolutely extremely important. Um, Boy, I mean, I almost don't even know where to start with this because, our providers at Boulder Skin Bar, obviously, they get trained, they learn how to do the certain things, but then they really do better for the client when they start injecting their own personal artistry into everything they do, especially our nurse, as I had mentioned. When you're doing tox or filler, you know that you're going to get, dramatic changes or improvements. And so you really want to rely on your own artistry and creativity to make sure that they're getting the best result.
Okay. And Deanna, I'm sure that throughout your experience, you've had some either challenging cases or memorable cases and everything in between. Is there maybe one
Mhm.
story that you can share of just one of those memorable cases and how you were able to get them a great outcome in the end?
Yeah, gosh, well, a couple. I mean, so for example, sometimes people will come in with acne that is so severe and they've tried absolutely everything. Okay. So they come to us because they've heard that we've gotten really great results for other people in similar situations. We show them the before and afters. But how we approach this, it is not a one size fits all. And we also, talk to them about their diet, their activities, really sort of take a holistic approach so that we can get them the relief that we're looking for. And again, every treatment plan is truly customized. So we have had a couple of extremely difficult cases where I thought, oh my gosh, this person might have to end up going on Accutane or something like that. But we stuck with it. And it was just, again, consistency and determination. And we were able to gain the client's trust so that they, said to us, okay, we're going to stick with you guys. And then we eventually get there. It might have taken a little extra work or maybe a couple of extra treatments thrown in here or there, but we ultimately always strive for the best result. And sometimes it takes a little bit more doing to get there, but you've got to remain flexible. And you've got to be willing to pivot. So, for example, if microneedling isn't getting the result we're looking for, then you know what? We're going to move over to laser.
Mhm.
And then that, so that might be a better fit. So we really kind of tweak the process along the way.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Okay.
mhm.
Now, Deanna, where do you think the future of aesthetics is going?
Wow. Okay. So I'd say starting about 5, 6 years ago, some of the bigger laser companies started talking about the future is going to be all AI.
Mhm.
So robotic assisted treatments, this, that,
Mhm.
and the other. Um, I haven't seen that successfully rolled out yet. I've seen some devices that will use a robotic arm to do whatever they're doing. And it definitely so far has not taken the place of the personal touch of the provider.
Mhm.
Um, Further to that, I think the future of aesthetics is going to more clean, natural results. So for example, at Boulder Skin Bar, the 4 different product lines that we carry are all clinically based, medical grade, but highly effective, but they're also very clean. So no synthetic ingredients, no chemicals, no parabens, no fillers, no artificial fragrances. And I really see the industry kind of moving more toward that as well.
Okay. And with that future in mind, what is your vision for Boulder Skin Bar?
Wow. Well, we're opening a second location toward the end of this year. So that's really good. So, I mean, I don't see Boulder Skin Bar becoming one of these type of med spas where it's like corporate or franchise or national. Nope, nope, nope. We want to stay small and local and results driven, because if we get too big, then we may risk losing that one-on-one personal touch with our clients. And really, that's what it's all about. Like, we build relationships with our clients. And I see the future of Boulder Skin Bar as continuing on that track. But also we are always open to new technologies. We always are, learning and researching and attending webinars and trade shows and things like that, just to make sure we stay on top of what's cutting edge. But as far as the future, I foresee us with multiple locations, because I think for the Colorado climate, we've got the secret sauce. And I would love to, share it with more people in more parts of this beautiful state.
Awesome. Well, Deanna, I have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I do want to point people to your website at boulderskinbar.com.
Right.
Now, last question is, what does beauty mean to you?
What does beauty mean to me?
Yeah.
Well, again, I like more natural. But beauty is really also about what's on the inside. So if you are happy with who you are as a person, and you're living your life coming from a place of, joy and gratitude, and you have great relationships in your life, that's going to show, that's going to come out. But then there's also beauty from the outside in. So, really taking care of your skin, your body, all of it is really an act of self-love. So beauty to me, is really combining the two. You just can't help but really show your beauty to the world.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Deanna sharing her expertise. So Deanna, where can people contact you in your practice?
Well, if they want to email us, it's hello@boulderskinbar.com. Or if you go to our website, our phone numbers are on there. But also, we really love interacting through social media, Instagram, Facebook. And we love, taking questions on Instagram and, really sort of highlighting our latest treatments and our team members. So lots of ways to get in touch with us. But no matter how people get in touch with us, we certainly hope they do, because we love meeting new people all the time.
Awesome. Well, this is amazing. Thank you for coming on, Deanna, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and your message.
Thank you. This has been really great, and I enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.